the Tabernacle based on the destruction from the storm. The inspector gave us the permission, and we hurriedly and got the venue across, just a little bit down from the station, which is the school ground.
Yeah.
That is in Clarendon.
That is in Porus,
Porus.
So then now,
in Manchester.
the school ground, a very beautiful play field, and the concerned citizens and persons in custody of the premises say we have to be careful about this is where the community they use it for the sporting, so we don't want to destroy the grass. So we say, okay, we'll bring the stuff around, but the persons can stand on the grass, but not the truck and the stage. And we did it very well. We kept the stage show with the authority of the inspector, and them say, tell the inspector say a bongo Daniel, black boy Daniel. And everybody know Daniel. And we say, all right. And the inspector knew Daniel very well. We went ahead.
Inspector Cespedes for the record.
For the record. So we went ahead. We kept the stage show. We grew with the sum of $200,000.
And at them time,
that was like enough money.
Enough money that I wanted.
We said, no, all right, Mikey, we got $200,000. It was well supported by the officers, by the community, in Scotts Pass, Porus, young kids, everyone supported it. We got $200,000. I said, we're going to buy 12 light posts. I bought 12 light posts, and I left them on the premises of the Naibigi Center, Scotts Pass. I went on tour. When I got back, it was only one light post left.
Some of them really ratting out on them things, because them never really,
But, so we said, all right, Bongo Daniel, they stole some. That's the main thing. You shouldn't have taken anything.
And obviously you don't know who stole.
No.
But someone stole it.
Yeah. So I said, okay, Bongo Daniel, what's happening now? I left the light post and I went on tour. Despite I went on tour, the light post couldn't have been rotten by the time I got back. So I said, all right, Bongo Daniel said, put it in a concrete, then can't move it.
Put it back.
Right. So that is how I ended up doing all that construction. This was way before going to Bobo Hill. No Bobo Shanty, Upper Bobo Hill, no Sizzla. So I started the construction.
You're talking about 2004, 2005,
going
right
up.
here now?
Yeah, going up.
Right after.
So we started that now. We started building the Tabernacle. There was a pit, and Daniel said the pit had been dug for about 20 years. Well, me and Mikey, we do dub plate and stage show, and we bought some train lines and some stuff, and we covered the pit. I began the construction of the bathroom, 2 bathrooms for the lioness and the lions, and no perfect bathroom. I started the construction of the office. Mr. Rose helped me. He was the architect, and Mr. Rose was the teacher for Sizzla at ACRM doing the architectural studies. So I said, the best person to do this is Mr. Rose. So Mr. Rose now started getting his other friends in the industry of the construction, and we ended up constructing the Tabernacle. We ended up buying all the irons. We ended up buying the roof, and Mr. Rose get the persons to do the roof, and they had Bud Spencer and Michael Record can give you the record for all those. So there and then the works continue. I've been doing all this before even they called Sizzla the treasurer. Before everything, I've been doing this without any title, anything, because it was a promise to Daniel and His Majesty.
Rasta family.
So the interest of being someone in the office administrating wasn't on my count or call. My duty was solely to build the Tabernacle ground.
And then to underscore, because you pointed out that by this time the Tabernacle, the area was more or less abandoned. That people had left.
When I say abandoned, I mean animals began defecating on the ground beneath the roof, because it's, to that level for years. Yes.
All right, so the daughters' quarters, the bathrooms, all of that building under the...
No, the lioness quarters and the daughters' quarters and the kitchen, they were already there. Right.
All right, so you built...
the Tabernacle, the bathroom, the office, put up the gate and stuff, and we began taking care of the land.
At what point did you move from being called by Ras Daniel doing the work after it was abandoned to now being, as the ancients who came in with you a few years ago, the president?
That was after keeping the banquet, helping the elders. Every celebration, Sizzla would provide finance to get the fire timber, to get the food, to fulfill the prescriptions for the elders, taking them to the doctor, the priest, just about anyone in the Bingi family, but mainly the priest and the elders, the Ancient Council. Yeah, and concerning anything domestically, to get them home, to get them back. Not only Sizzla, you have the families helping out, other families helping out, but Sizzla now, as the main thing for Daniel was that you have the money, you are the artist, you can get money quick, you don't need none for thief, and you are do the thing. So because of all that, I figure very well they handed over the Treasury Department to Sizzla based on the fact that I'm the person developing the land. And now Daniel said to me, Daniel sent Junior Negos saying, Sizzla, Mrs. Marley would like to have a meeting with you. And I said, okay, me soon go check mama. Me I do only paleko thing. It was there, it run off until about the next 2 months or a month. Junior Negos came again and said, Sizzla, Daniel is waiting for you to have a meeting with Mrs. Marley because she'll be going on tour very soon. I said, okay, no problem. I went with Bongo Daniel, myself, Junior Negos to see Mrs. Marley. Bongo Daniel was adamant about not taking Junior Negos because for some reason he just didn't trust Junior Negos. That's Bongo Daniel.
Yeah,
right.
Don't trouble.
Anyway, we went in, saw Mrs. Marley.
At 56 Upward, right?
At the museum, yes.
Museum.
We saw Mrs. Marley in her office.
Yeah.
Then we sat, Mrs. Marley, we greeted Mrs. Marley. Mrs. Marley said, Sizzla morning, and everything for the likes and respect. So she said to me now, I would like to cut off the Bingi land. And I said, okay, cut it off in the name of the church, Bingi Theocracy Reign. She said, no, I'm going to cut off the land in your name, Miguel Collins, known to the fact that you're developing the land. And I said, okay, if it please thee, let it be.
So this was about when? What year would you say this would have been?
For the record, I'm not remembering well.
But this is after you'd have built up.
This is after Mrs. Marley came to the premises and saw the construction. And I heard that she asked, who is doing it? And they told her, Sizzla. So I figure very well, this is why Sizzla got a call.
And I noticed that also, Sizzla, that you have been tweeting, well, at least on your social media, you have been writing about this meeting.
Yes.
And I think this meeting is critical because here we go now. It shed some light on what was in Nana Rita Marley's head also about land and the land ownership at this point. She was very clear, it would seem to me, that the land was still hers, that it was not cut off yet, that it's not placed in anybody's name.
Exactly.
Because of what she said to you.
Yes.
She said to you that now she was ready to cut it off.
Yes.
And to put it in your name.
Yes.
What happened then?
Okay, after leaving Mrs. Marley's office, we went back on the road, Rastafari vibration, get some refreshment for Daniel. We went back to Augustown. Daniel was pretty excited. So I said, okay. After going back to the Nyabingi premises, the family began asking now, Sizzla, what Mama Marley said? And she said she's going to cut off the land in my name. And from then, persons hearing, some got happy, some got vexed. And from there and then, you got the uproar, people saying stuff, and the list goes on.
Also, this is where the conflict
That's
began
just
for
one
you.
Of the entity causing, seemingly, what they're saying is causing the conflict. That is one. The other one was Sizzla is the person to develop the land, called by Daniel. I'm going to spend my own money to do stuff. But in doing so, I'm very conscientious of the fact that based on the minutes of the Nyabingi meetings, there are discrepancies about monies coming in and going out, the treasury and stuff like that, misadministration, people sending stuff for the family, they can't get it. So I said, how can I leave my money with someone when I'm not here? Hence, Sizzla ended up have to spend his own money, be on the premises, and do the work for himself. And the most trusted person for me then was Michael Record, because he's the son of Bongo Daniel Vincent Record, who had wanted to develop the premises. So Michael Record should see to it that the duty of his father is being manifested.
That, of course, is you, Ras Mikey, sitting right here.
Right.
So what did your work entail?
Accountability.
Come closer to the microphone.
Accountability.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Meaning?
Meaning money that I get from Sizzla, I make sure it's spent. Touchable.
Where it should go.
Yeah. Not only Sizzla, from anyone. So when you say accountability, transparency, Morgirai, always say tangible, we need to see what's going in and coming out of the Bingi family. And there wasn't any transparency concerning such. So when I say accountability, that's another thing that brought some sort of vibe against Sizzla again. You know, and families started saying stuff that persons got this for the family and didn't hand it over and all the like. So then I have to take up matters in my own hand to do all these stuff. So while being on tour, I would be at the Bingi Center, live at the Bingi Center, do everything at the Bingi Center, leave Bingi Center, go on tour, come from tour, dear Bingi Center, and that's just it.
At some point, so here you have Miss Nana Rita saying to you, I'm going to cut this land off where the Tabernacle is. That was at 5 acres, right?
That was the portion that she had already bordered around with a fence.
Right. So that's all like the 5 acres, right?
Right.
Yeah.
What happened? Didn't she cut that off in your name? Because now we know that the land is reclaimed.
That is where we're at right now. So after hearing the interview on the radio with you, Miss Stephanie, and Michael Record, I said the land is being taken back. So is Mama Rita going back on the promise given to the Bingi family before Sizzla came in the picture, and also that she had already spoken to Sizzla that she's going to cut off the land. So I've been there waiting. No persons being saying anything for Rastafari, we need it with title, yes. But if you have misadministration and all these stuff concerning the family, who could Mrs. Marley have trust to cut the land in their name? Because persons, I think very well, wanted to take the land from the Rastafari family. And that's just the old cycle going through.
You're saying that there was that, I hear you laughing, Ras Mikey. You're saying that there was that thinking, that there was no necessarily to trust, no trust in the system.
Exactly.
So to speak,
in the family, I'll put it that way. So you ask your question after hearing that the land has been reclaimed by Nana Rita and the Marley family. You're saying that you're asking whether or not she's going back on her word, but at the same time you're saying you're understanding it.
So naturally, what I'm saying is that based on Stephanie's words on the media to the public that the land is being taken back, I'm saying to myself, is it that Mrs. Marley went back on the promise of handing over the land to the Rastafari family, and also the promise that she had promised me that she would get me the land for the Bingi family. So
right. Why didn't she get you the land? Why wasn't it put in your name? What happened?
That's on her account. I don't know why. It might be because she's a busy person touring or business. But it was on her account to do such. It's in her authority.
But you weren't against that at all?
No, because the words of the ancient are well valued. And Mrs. Marley is an ancient mother for us. Yeah. So we are there doing stuff, and people saying Rastafari family rich millionaires, they're not doing anything for Rasta. So when I being blessed and whose person's latitude was falling, that I should be the person to take this land for Rastafari, I can't deny that. I'd have to accept. And I said yes.
Have you reached out to Stephanie, to any of the Marley family, to Nana, to anyone, to...
Well, based on the fact that she's a bit ill, I can't have any dialogue with her, so I've reached out to Mr. Stephen Marley concerning the matter after hearing all this. And Stephen's words to Sizzla was, Dada, Mama is a bit sick. When Mama get much better, then we'll have a conversation with her and I'll get back to you. And I left it right there until now I'm here.
All right. My very special guest in studio, Sizzla Kalonji, Ras Mikey, and we're talking about the land issue as it relates to Scott's Pass, Nyabinghi Tabernacle in Clarendon. Interesting information coming out. We're learning from Sizzla that Nana Rita Marley had summoned him to a meeting at which he was told that she wanted to transfer the lands at Scott's Pass to his name. Sizzla, would this be on behalf of the Nyabinghi in your name?
Yes, everything.
As you say for the record.
Is the total head for such.
Right. You talked also, Sizzla, about the work done on the tabernacle itself,
yes,
and also the other buildings.
Yes.
Was anything else done there? Because I'm recalling that when I spoke with Stephanie, she said one of the things that her mother wanted to see happening there was also what was done with the land. How was the land used, farming, etc.? Was anything like that done, or was it just a concentration on the building itself?
Naturally, yes. The Rastafari family, over the years, Rastafari are farmers. So the trees there, the fruit trees and all those stuff were planted by the families. I personally bought trees and started planting. Michael record can give you a much clarity on that.
Michael?
Yeah, for the record, yeah.
Tell us about the farming that took place there. How was the land kept?
Touchable. The land been cut over the years. It's clean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the farming?
Well,
what was grown there?
Well, naturally still, say...
Coconuts.
Coconut
trees,
tree.
Just about anything that can be produced on the land and anything that the Rastafari family brought there to be planted.
So what's your thought then on what Stephanie said when she pointed out that part of the issue was also how the land was dealt with?
Well, the underdevelopment of the land is based on the family not having the title and the misadministration of the Nyabinghi funds and things going in and out for the Nyabinghi family. There couldn't have been any construction on the land properly because persons getting money for the Bingi family not handing over the money to the family, touchable. So the land was best kept with Sizzla. Brought the land more. We cut for every celebration. The land is being kept with celebration or without celebration. The land was being kept in a proper manner because you got little children coming here, visitors, and as soon as the grass began growing, Bongo Rambo, Irie, Daniel, Ives, persons who are caretakers on the land, living there, taking care of the land. That land can't be just vacant with no one there. Those persons would have called Sizzla and said, Sizzla, celebration coming up, we need to get the land prepared. And Juna Negos was always there, up and down with the truck to get a fire timber. So the land was well taken care of. So I will not stand for them to drag Mrs. Marley's name through the public in a bad sense concerning the land. The land was owned by Mrs. Marley and still owned by Mrs. Marley. And the best person to keep the land was Mrs. Marley. It's her land. It was already being owned by someone with responsible duty. It was just now the time the Rastafari family needs to advance more concerning repatriation, persons going home. We need to develop the land. So there.
But as Ivi says, the land was given to the Nyabinghi. You're saying that the land is Nana Rita Marley's land.
Yes, it's still in the name of Rita's. So the land was given to the Rastafari family based on Daniel, Data, Dunan, Dago, Mabrak, and all those persons ask her, and it is in the public.
Well, Stephanie says it was permission to use, not a gift.
Then why would the king's grandson and Rita Marley plan the center post? Why would you give Rastafari something and take it back? I don't believe such.
So your understanding is that this was a gift to Nyabinghi?
Yes, and that is the reason why Mama Rita herself called me to the meeting to hand over this land so the Rastafari family can do what they want to do concerning repatriation. So I don't believe, honestly, personally, as Sizzla, I don't believe that the land is being taken back. I'm still waiting on Stephen Marley to get to Sizzla concerning Mama's health, so I can ask her about the handing over of the land for the Nyabingi family.
So let me be clear. You have said that you do not believe that the land is being reclaimed by Nana Rita.
No. Because she had promised me to hand over the land in my name for the Nyabingi family, and she got sick. And I've called Stephen Marley concerning the matter, and Stephen said, Dada, Mama's sick. Well, when Mama get better, me talk to Mama and then me talk back to you. And I said, okay. And I'm still waiting on Stephen's words to be fulfilled up until now. So I will not allow them to drag Mrs. Marley's name through the gutter and having the Rastafari family bashing against Mrs. Marley when she had called me and said, son, you are one of the son.
But this is one of the things that her daughter spoke to Stephanie in terms of what's happening. You talk about a bonfire, her name being dragged in the mud. All that is being said about her without any kind of a pushback from the community to say, stop it. She says that Nana Rita is distressed about that.
Like I said before for the record, I've called the son, Stephen Marley, and he said, Dada, Mama sick. When Mama get better, me tell Mama, and Mama will give us the directive. So I'm still waiting on Mr. Stephen Marley.
Sizzla, was there a time when you stopped going there?
No. When I'm not there is when I'm back in Kingston for domestic work or to go on tour. At once, all right, for the record, Daniel's wife, Ma Punsi, she went away. Ma Punsi said, Sizzla, you did a long time I help out the Bingi family. We are going to send money, come give Mikey, and you make it up and build the house. That is the house behind Daniel's house.
What them call White House now.
So that house was being built by Ma Punsi, Daniel's wife, because Daniel's first house at the front right there, the red, gold, and green house, is being raised down to the ground, being, based upon the elements of nature. So there and then, Sizzla is not the only person who are developing the land. Other persons are there developing the land. There was a building built for Ma Shanti on the land also. So we began developing the land, and persons began saying, so many millionaire Rasta in a Rastafari world and reggae music and bingy, why they can't help Sizzla to complete the office? So there and then now, the office had been on a pause based upon, Sizzla burning the fire and not having access to certain motherland country with the money. So that is where it's at until now.
One of the things that a lot of people talk about, Sizzla, is you having control of a seal, you being there as a leader when you shouldn't be. This is just citing what people have said. What is your response in this honest and truthful space this morning?
Well, it is a person's responsibility to safeguard what has been entrusted to that person. Now, concerning the seal, I'm an artist. I knew about the contracts, doing business. Going to this Bingi Center, I asked Daniel, is the church registered? Daniel said, no, Rastaman Church must not be registered to Babylon. No secondary government outside the continent of Africa. Anywhere His Majesty's name is not being called or being mentioned, you should not be a part of it. So I said, okay, nice. So from then I said, is there a seal for the Bingi house? Daniel said, yes, but this seal wasn't authorized by the house to be constructed. Bongo Irie Irons went behind the family's back and constructed a seal. And I said, okay. At this time, no one knew about the seal. Even though the seal had been constructed, it wasn't in the priest's position.
It wasn't being used?
Being used, but the family don't know what's happening. So there and then I said, so where's the seal? He said, Jajayan have the seal. Someone say, me I got, not Jajayan, sorry. Bongo Irie Iron has the seal. So I said, we're going to look for Bongo Irie Iron. I myself and Bingi Mikey went up to Bagwak and look for Bongo Irie Iron and said, Bongo Irie Iron, what about the seal for the Bingi family?
That is years ago,
Years.
Yeah.
Bongo Irie Iron went inside, went for the seal, brought back the seal, and gave me the seal. And I took the seal from Bongo Irie Iron. No one knew nothing about this. And I took the seal, me and Bingy Mikey, and went back to Naya Bingy Scotch Pass and give the priest, Bongo Time, the seal. And gave Daniel the seal and the elders. And they said, what? You know how long we not see this? Years. Some ancient began saying, we don't even know if the seal did exist. And I said, what? I left the seal with the priest and Bongo Daniel. Bongo Daniel and the priest and other ancients said, do not give it back to Irie Iron. We don't know what they're doing with it. And furthermore, is the priest should have had the seal. I said, you know something? Known to the fact that Bongo Irie Iron constructed the seal, in whatsoever sense, I'll take it back to him. Right?
Yeah.
And Bongo Irie Irons did give you the seal without any. Right.
So I went back and gave Bongo Irie Iron the seal. And Daniel said, why did you give her the seal? I said, because you said is Bongo Irie Iron made the seal. And I said, all right, I gave back Bongo Irie Iron the seal because I know what's happening. Years now going, they don't know where the seal is. So persons began saying the seal is by Sassy, the seal is by Bongo Ken, the Bongo Tanya has the seal. And we said, but you are the elders, you should be laying out the foundation that the priests, based upon the Bingy principle, the priest and the guideline, the priest should have the seal. Anyway, I said to Junior Negos, find where the seal is at and bring back the seal to the priest. We're on the road up and down doing stage shows and everything, looking the money to do what domestically. At once, there was some celebration coming up for the family and His Majesty. I sat to the south side of the Tabernacle, close to this tank, square tank Daniel built. And then I saw Junior Negos coming to me and saying, King, you know, the priest says he doesn't want anything to do with the seal because they took the seal about 3 months now and he doesn't know what they're doing with it. I don't want to have anything to do with the seal. So I said, what? Because naturally, the Bingy family don't really know Sizzla. And the Bobo family don't know Sizzla. Sizzla just an artist, boss out into the world, I do the work. They called Sizzla and I did the work. So the same thing I did at the Naya Bingy Center, I went to Bobo Hill and I did the same thing. Same process with the Tabernacle, being raised to the foundation based upon natural elements of nature. And I constructed the Tabernacle for the Bobo Shanty out my pocket, same way with other persons.
Have you also done this on land that doesn't belong to the Bobo Shanty?
I did it on the same land belonging to the Bobo Shanty.
No, it's owned by them?
No. They're in the land based upon the law, living there and such, because Rastafari had always have a little problem to get the monies to do stuff and stuff. So
what do you think about this problem of land ownership and Rastafari? And what do you think is the responsibility of people like yourself to continue to pressure government, especially within the Coral Gardens context, to ensure that land is made available in the right and legal way to Rastafari in Jamaica?
It should be, but we have for ourselves, Rastafari is a government, no secondary government outside the continent of Africa. We need to pool our resources together, and we are so much with wealth now, we need to get ourselves together as Rastafari, whether you are being appointed to an office or not, as long as you're saying Rastafari, because you got other religions doing stuff, they're uniting and building their stuff, so we need to do the same for His Majesty.
Do you think that Scott's Pass, for example, that a delegation or a suggestion should be made to the Marley family?
There's no problem with Scott's Pass other than...
No, to purchase the land.
No, the land was being given by Mrs. Marley herself as some sort of kindness. So all needed to be done is just for her to hand over the land. But seemingly based upon what's happening now, there wasn't anyone with that realms of responsibility to take the land, because I figure why Mrs. Marley didn't give the land. She didn't want to give the land to somebody in their name that would run off with the land. So known to the fact Sizzla came and built on the land, Sizzla can't go away again. So I think the best person is to do it with Sizzla. Sizzla been doing all these stuff. So
is Naya Bingy registered in Jamaica?
Should not. And if it's being registered, not with the sense of my knowledge, it shouldn't be. It would be contrary to the fact of the duty. No secondary government. So this is where it's at. There is no problem with the Nyabingi Scots Pass grounds concerning development because I've already did that. There should just be a patience for Mrs. Marley to hand over the land. So the family, I told the family what Mrs. Marley said. It should be the Sizzla's duty to follow up by right, and the family to pressure Sizzla to get it done. Okay. But we've been waiting on Mrs. Marley. We can't pressure her because she was the one who stated such matter and told her secretary to put it in the book.
Sizzla, I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm just going to give you 3 or so minutes to say your final words. Let me take a quick break. Of the Africa Forum, it is Running African, and in the final few minutes of this discussion with Sizzla Kalonji and Ras Mikey on the land situation, the land controversy, contentious issue unfolding at Scots Pass. Sizzla, is there anything else that you would want the family to know that we might not have covered here, or anything you want to underscore or reiterate?
What I would like the family to know that we should answer to the call of the Prime Minister for the 1 million persons to go to Ethiopia this Sunday. Ethiopia Christmas, the Melkam Gena. So we need to follow up with these matters. And we can't, because our present matter at hand concerning the land issue and people talking about the seal should deter us from the duty of the Nyabingi to return all black man, woman and child to Africa. Repatriation. The gate is open, so we need to agitate for repatriation. And we should find the Marley family and see what's really happening. See if we can still have this land, because we need this piece of land to have a safe haven for the Rastafari family to get off the street to chant. It's really insulting in this time they can't chant and they've been left out in the open. So then, the Nyabingi family had given me a tabernacle at 40 August Town. And it's in good condition, and it's open, accessible to just about anyone.
Yeah, I've been there.
Naturally.
So I don't know.
So I'm here to clear...
So you're saying that in the meantime, where the different events would occur, the events that would happen at Scots Pass, you're saying that you're opening the Nyabingi Tabernacle in Augustown for those events?
Yes, it was never been closed. It was given by the Nyabingi family. They came there and chanted. And for the record again, that is where they got the idea of the Millennium Council. Bongo Daniel took Sizzla, drove over the whole entire highland of Jamaica. We go in some crevices, corner, mountain, rock, to find some Rasta elders from that time. And these elders, they came and they had the Nyabingi at Augustown. It was in the same process of the millennium for Ethiopia. Persons came there and saw elders and see that the elders are here and it is the Haitian Council now, and Sizzla got the going and they're doing their stuff, and they tried to form a coup to usurp the government of the Nyabingi theocracy to form the Millennium Council again, just to get bad administration. Because when you form these other councils, these councils and their administrators take stuff from people of the world, but don't hand it over to the Nyabingi theocracy. That is the trick, to represent with other name and not the name of the Nyabingi theocracy. And known to the fact that Sizzla is a treasurer, he is a public figure. Anything with Sizzla will go public concerning Rastafari and the nation. Persons having problems with that again.
Well, we're going to have a conversation, I think, with the Nyabingi, with the Millennium Council to see what are the issues there, because you've mentioned the Millennium Council a few times, and I think it's only right that we have them respond.
Yes.
Just before you go, because I know you've been doing some work in Augustown, and I want to thank you for coming in, for being here so early. But don't want you to leave without telling us about the work you're doing in Augustown, especially with the youth. What's happening in Augustown?
The work in Augustown is a follow-up from the Nyabingi theocracy reign, taking my premises, preparing it for the redemption, and it's a follow-up from all the same mandate, but it's not mandate. We got the Zion date, where Rastafari family must return to Africa, and the 5-point agenda from Bobo Hill. So it's the duty of all the mansions of Rastafari. I've made my place secure and well kept, accommodative for process of Nyabingi Festival. Just about anything, as you've heard, the Prime Minister said in the stadium that Sizzla's home is now a community center. Because they had done their investigation and knew very well that it is in that like doing so for Rastafari. Yes. So we've constructed the museum is not finished, to be quiet, and we're setting up like a Kalonji cafe where we can serve guests coming there, and the premises is being upgraded, well kept and altered just for the purpose of repatriation or just about any public activity.
We're going to invite ourselves and come have a look at the work that you're doing.
No problem.
Thank you so much, Sizzla. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much, Ras Mikey. And I know that this discussion will continue outside of this space. What would you want to say to persons who are now going to engage in further discussions?
That Sizzla is the person to help in keeping the family together. Sizzla is the person with the love and the joy for Rastafari. Sizzla is the person that said no Bingi family can be separated. Only way the Bingi family is being separated is if these persons are not abiding by the principles and the guidelines of the Naya Bingi theocracy. So when you're saying that Bingi house split, the Bingi house can't split. Bone split, bone separation. Bingi house are we are well united. The fact of the matter is that persons get caught being exposed are trying to shift attention from themselves to Sizzla. But not a problem. I'm here to clear the way. So the final directive from the elders, the ancient council in the Tabernacle, from the priest before he died, is that Sizzla, please to finish the office and buy a big safe, put in the office, and you can put the seal inside the safe and other important documents for Rastafari on the premises, the headquarters, Scott's Pass, Naya Bingi Center. That is why I'm adamant about getting that land for Rasta.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sizzla Kalonji. Thank you so much, Ras Mikey. Well, there you have it. And as you listen to or re-listen to the first interview with Stephanie Marley and listen to this interview with Sizzla Kalonji, there are many agreements in what we are hearing from both. And so that the issue is really a family issue that should be able to be sorted because of this level of agreement. And mediation, I think, is the right way to go. I hear lawyers being talked about again, and I hear persons digging in their heels. But if we step back from this a bit and have a proper mediation, I am sure that this is something that can be worked out easily.